Welcome back, everyone. Great to have you here. Brand new start to the week. We start our weeks with our mindset and motivation Monday shows. The reason we do that is that no matter what I teach the rest of the week, whether it be for digestion or hormones or migraines or autoimmune or energy or anything else in between, what we have to understand is that you can have all the plans in the world. You can have the exact blueprints you need in order to heal your body. And yes, there is an answer for everyone. But if you do not have the inspiration, if you're not inspired to take action, nothing's going to happen, right? If you're not motivated to wake up and implement the plans that you know that you need to do in order to achieve the results that you want, then it does not matter at the end of the day. So the first part is always getting our mind right. That simply means getting to a space, a place that you can say yes to beginning to rebalance the body. So what I like to do is make sure that we start our Mondays with a state of abundance, with feeling grateful, with also understanding the world in which we live in, because some of us are trying our very best to just be a source of inspiration in our own way. It doesn't mean we're perfect by any means, but we're just trying to be of service to other people. We're trying to help. Again, we make our mistakes. I certainly do, right? I am by no means perfect, nor have I ever said to be. And it's also part of the reason why I do these Monday shows, is because I know that I am in a constant state of growth, that I know myself, that I need to continue to get better. And today's show came about because I work with a lot of health practitioners, integrative health practitioners, and I'm always trying to teach them as well. Like, listen, you are going to come across people online or in your practice or even family that do things seemingly out of the blue to hurt you, to say things to hurt you. And I wanted to go through 6 of those reasons today that I found that why they do that. So that it doesn't mean that they will ever stop, but what it means is that the hurt people that are trying to hurt you, well, they can't, because you understand it from a different place, that you might even empathize more than actually get angry. And so that's where I hope that we get to by the end of today's show. And this research is actually taken from Psychology Today. So I'm always happy to link that up. This is from Dr. Claire Jack, and I'm going to share this with you. Now, again, this has been used across many different industries. It's certainly used in the autism spectrum disorder industry field, but this really applies to all people. And I will be doing a kind of a follow-up show for integrative health practitioners, but this one specifically is for all of us. And we go online and you might make a comment or you might share a post about how you're feeling today, and someone comes in and they just say something really negative. This is certainly the case more on YouTube and maybe more on Twitter. I would say less so on Instagram, less so on Facebook. I just found those to be a little bit more of a positive platform. But there's just so much, vileness on Twitter a lot of the time and YouTube. And I always say that, again, I'm just trying to do my best to put good out there. And for the most part, I don't see as much of this, but I'll tell you for sure, the comments every once in a while will come in. They will come in for all of us. And we have a choice to make. We have a choice really to say, and this could, again, be in the real world as well, with a family member saying something like, why did that person say that? So instead of us getting reactive and angry right away, which is a normal human emotion, there's nothing wrong with that. I want us to begin to maybe dissect, maybe look a little bit deeper. It's like, why would this person say this? Because I know if someone posts something online, and even if I disagree with it, I'm not going to attack that person. I'm not going to say negative things. So why would other people? And so we really want to look back at that. And I would say, when I see people doing this in general to each other in the real world or online, and I'll explain why it's more prevalent online, I do go back and I say, okay, yeah, but would you do this 20 years ago? Would you say this 20 years ago? And even 20 years ago, I don't think I would. But if you go back 22 years ago or so, the answer might be yes. I might say the same things that other people do before I started to really do a lot of work on myself. All right, so let's get into why it's more prevalent online versus just the real world. So in the real world, let's say that you share with a family member something you're looking to do, or a bit of advice or whatever it is. When people are face to face with you, they're just a lot more cordial. They're not willing to say what they would online versus offline because you're right there with them and they can understand how hurtful it might be saying that in person, or that you could physically react. I'm not saying you should, but you could physically react in the real world. So if many of the people who say things online would never say it to the person in the real world because, of course, it's the real world. And again, if they're acting the way that they're acting, there might be literally a physical altercation, right? Or repercussion. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but that is a possibility, right? But when you're online and you're separate, excuse me, you're separated by two screens, well, then you know that it's much less likely. And when you're online, people's usernames are sometimes like, I don't even know what, like Texas person 324, Massachusetts woman 7. Like there's no real person behind it. It might even have a private account. So we have to understand is like a lot of the anonymity allows for people to say more hurtful things. But at the end of the day, why are they saying these hurtful things? Let's go through 6 reasons that I've read about. I'm going to put my twist on them because I have a different take on this as well, doing media and really speaking online and different platforms, doing hundreds of articles, or I should say hundreds of interviews in the news and all over the place, tens of thousands of articles, podcasts, etc. So the first one is this: some people, because of childhood issues or the way they were raised or whatever, they literally have less empathy. So meaning that they're more matter of fact, right? They're a little bit more maybe even crass than other people would be, or maybe you. So for example, and I'm not going to name countries and all of that, I have friends in other countries and they say things much more matter of fact, meaning like they just literally are just matter of fact. And I'm like, whoa, did that person just say that? Yes, they did. And they didn't mean it negatively. So that's why the first thing that I want people to do is if someone says something hurtful to you, look at intention. So I want you just to step back for a moment and saying, what is this person intending by saying what they're saying? And especially online, because it literally might just be a sentence. And I always say to myself, could this be taken in another way? Meaning, I'm trying to give you an example right now. So for example, let's say that you're out there and you're just sharing with people like, hey, really excited. I'm starting my 90-day challenge to improve my overall wellness, my fitness, my health, my nutrition. Really excited about this plan. And someone goes online and they say, 90 days isn't going to be enough for you. Okay. So even how I said that, right? So literally they wrote 90 days is not going to be enough for you. So I said that in an inflammatory tone because that's how I would have heard it. Like, oh, that sounds kind of nasty. Like, what is this person saying? Are they saying I need more work than 90 days? Are they saying that, I'm not close enough to my goals? Like, what are they saying? But I could also read it another way. 90 days is not going to be enough for you. Maybe, again, what they really meant by that is saying, okay, 90 days is good, but from their past experience, because maybe they've been through this before, you really want to look at it as 6 months. Or maybe they're saying is 90 days should not be the goal. The goal should be a lifetime of working in nutrition. But since they only said that one thing, that's what we take it as, right? So it can be taken other ways. But also, this person might be someone who they just don't feel a lot of those same things that others do. They just literally gave it to you straight, like 90 days isn't going to be enough. Like, okay. And you literally could write, what do you mean by that? And maybe they could say, well, in my experience with overcoming, because maybe they know your story, autoimmune issues, etc., it takes more like 6 months to a year. Oh, okay. Hey, appreciate the explanation. So maybe we just go, if you choose to, maybe we go a little bit deeper. But again, this isn't just online. If someone said that to you at an event that you just met, or maybe it's a family member, you say, what do you mean by that? Or could you clarify that for me? Give them the benefit of the doubt, because some people, they don't have as much emotion, and they literally may just be a little bit more matter of fact. All right. So I want you to think about that. Clarify first. The second is this is a really important one. So A lot of people are in a bad spot in their life. They are angry, they are upset, and they are looking to take it out on someone else. That's literally the bottom line. They are in a bad spot in their life, okay? So when they see other people like you embarking on a 12-week or 90-day challenge to improve their life, what are you really doing? Well, you're holding a mirror up to them, okay? And they know that they should be on their own 90-day challenge to improve their life, but their relationships aren't going well, their health isn't that great, body transformation's not that great, maybe their career is not going that great, or schooling, like things are just not going well. So they are angry. So what are they doing? They see someone holding a mirror up, improving their life. So what do? They try to tear that person down. It is not you, it is them. They are attacking the version of themselves that they know that they should be doing, right? So they do not like themselves, so they are lashing out essentially at themselves, but towards you, saying, they could say all sorts of hurtful things, maybe, and they are actually saying, hey, 90 days isn't going to be enough for you. You need so much more work, like whatever they might be saying, or, you're never going to achieve their goal, or you tried this before and it's not going to happen. Like they could say all sorts of different things. And really, what are they saying? Like, oh, they're saying, well, you've tried this before, meaning themselves, and it hasn't worked out before, right? They have a lot of self-doubt themselves. They wish they could improve. They wish they had more motivation. They're upset that you're doing it and they know they should be doing it too. So let's be really careful of not going too deep with someone that has a lot of self-dislike, that's not happy with themselves right now. Because even if you respond to this person saying, like, hey, that's not really kind, or whatever it might be, they would just spit back with a lot more venom. And the reason is they're in a bad spot right now. Sometimes when people are just looking for a fight, it takes two people to fight. You should not fight back. There is no need to engage in anyone who's bringing that type of hate. I tell that to my daughters all the time. I share it with my wife. I take my own advice as well. So if someone ever comments something just really negative, you're not going to get a response back from me. I do not give that person the time of day because they need some time to themselves. They literally need a timeout. That's it. And you're going back and forth is exactly what they want. They are looking to bring others down. Don't allow them to do it to you. All right. Number 3 is this. Some people, they may try to hurt you, and it's not necessarily that they're doing it because they're in a real state of anger. You have to understand is that some people are truly hurt. They have a lowered self-esteem. They are in a bad spot for a different reason, which is not due to anger, but due to lower self-esteem. And they are looking to make sure that other people are there around them, or they're looking to say something to that other individual that may try to push them away. Now, I know that this sounds strange, but I want to break this down from a psychological standpoint. So in psychology, you might have two people in a relationship. Let's just say they're friends. So let's take the same exact person. You're embarking on a wellness-based journey to improve your overall autoimmune issues, lose some weight, regain your energy, improve your overall life, right? That's a great goal a lot of people have, right? There's over 60 million people just in the United States with autoimmune issues. It's unbelievable. So when we look at that, we say, okay, but now a friend of theirs in person or online says, if you're going to embark on this, I'm not sure that we can be friends anymore. You would say, whoa, like that's a little heavy, right? I'm looking to improve myself. I'm looking to better my life. I'm looking to improve my nutrition. Well, why would you say this to me? And so you get that comment to you. What you want to do with that person is clarify. Because for many people, what happens is this. A lot of hurt people, a lot of people with lower self-esteem, they will say things like that to push you away, to see, believe it or not, how much you value their relationship. What are you willing to do for them? Like if you're not able to go out and have drinks with them once a week, are you still going to be friends? If you're looking to improve your overall health and fitness and they're not, they wonder, are you still going to be friends, right? Or are you still going to be as close? Will you have as much to talk about? They're feeling abandoned, believe it or not. It's about, remember, it's hurt people. When hurt people, it's because they're hurt. These are all just different ways of this person being hurt from childhood-based trauma or current issues. And this one's about self-esteem. So this person's worried that you're going to leave them because you're embarking on a life-improving based journey. So always just start to look at it maybe from their point of view. Again, you don't have to do any of these things. You don't have to reach out. But one thing you want to understand is that when hurt people are trying to hurt you, it's because they're hurt. It's not about you. And sometimes people are worried about feeling abandoned. And they'll try to push you away because if they do, if they're testing you, they say, okay, see, this person wasn't really my friend after all. See, this person really didn't care about me after all. Nobody cares about me. Right? They go back to that low self-esteem. I'm all alone. Nobody, understands where I'm coming from. So in this situation, now, of course, you need to be strong for yourself. And now you have to choose, okay, am I willing to be strong for this person as well? And depending on where you're at, you might need to, again, take a little break, take a little time, but you come back and say, listen, I haven't left you. We're always going to be friends. Whether you choose to embark on a healthy journey or not, that's of no consequence, right? We can each go about our own way. I'd love to share with you what I'm doing right now, but only if you're interested. When we're together, we don't need to talk about these particular things. So just start to think about that a bit. The fourth one, again, this is all from this psychology-based article, but I'm just sharing with you how I've seen it play out in the real world as well. So giving you my take on it is that some people, again, consciously or unconsciously, are in a bit of a power struggle. So they have a little bit of an agenda. And what we want to understand is, what is this person looking to do? What agenda do they have? So it's my opinion that many people, they come up with a dogma or philosophy about life. And if you are breaking that in any way, that their ego is so fragile that when you comment about you doing something that runs contrary to what they believe in, they feel like they have to disassociate from you. Because if they aren't strong enough yet to be around someone that has a different viewpoint. And again, this isn't really what this article is about, so I'm just sharing what I've seen over the last 2 years, especially for the pandemic, is that some people decided not to go along with mainstream media. And those people that are really all in on mainstream media, when this person, one of their friends would just have a different viewpoint, not saying that the mainstream media was necessarily wrong or this person was wrong. They're just saying, listen, I get it, I understand, but here's my viewpoint. This is what I believe in. And some people, many people actually would attack those people with a different viewpoint. The reason is out of fear. It's completely out of fear. They believe that they have to go along with mainstream media, the narrative, because it makes them feel safe, makes them feel comfortable, gives them something to believe in. So if you're over here sharing your own viewpoint, well, it begins to crack, right? It begins to create little cracks in their armor. And if that happens, they will begin to move back into a place of fear and worry and anxiety. And so we have to understand that sometimes, again, it's not us. It's the other people and what they need to believe in order to feel safe. It's their particular agenda. In time, they might start to feel more comfortable as things get talked about less in the media, as we've seen it lately. All right, the last, or I should say the fifth one is this. Some people, because of an abusive relationship they've been in, or an abusive childhood, or how they were treated as a child, how they grew up, they actually feel very comfortable in that constant conflict or pain-based state. So, believe it or not, many people don't feel comfortable in a loving, caring, peaceful-based environment. We've probably all met these people. We at least one in our lifetime. They feel comfortable in conflict. They feel comfortable around, unfortunately, violence, around hatred. It's what they've known their whole life. And so for them, trying to show them love or have them feel peace is such a foreign concept that their armor at this point is so thick that they're not going to allow it to penetrate. Now, they can in time if they choose to do the work on themselves, but for them, inflicting hatred, whether it be online or in person, is just who they are. And online is just easier because there's far less consequences and they can do it all day long and they thrive in that type of environment. You do not want to get sucked into that vortex. Separate yourself from those types of people. And if you don't know them and you don't care to be a part of that, just hit block. That's it. There's no need to have those people in your inner ecosystem. And the reason is they will bring hatred to your community, to your life, and you do not need that as part of your own mindset. Allow them to do the work. They can do the work on themselves. You don't need to get involved with that. And again, you can choose to with family and friends. That's okay. But if someone is just bringing hate your way, that's not about you. That is about them. And you do not have to absorb that. I'm giving you permission right now and saying to you, you do not need to absorb that yourself. You do not. The sixth one is this. We have to understand that sometimes hurt people are hurting us because we are not yet strong enough in order to be able to not absorb, but deflect that hate, that hurt. So I think it's really important that we understand that people could be doing this out of anger. They're comfortable with conflict because of childhood trauma and other issues. Some people have a low self-esteem. Some people just have low levels of empathy. They don't just truly understand. A lot of people are doing it out of fear. So we have all sorts of reasons why people are doing it, but all of them is they're not doing it because of you, okay? They are not doing it because of you. There's nothing innately wrong with you. You are doing something which causes them fear, or essentially you're holding up a mirror saying, hey, that person should be doing it too. They know that they need to be doing these things. So they're acting out all of these things that they see in themselves. That's the truth, right? So they see in themselves that they should be improving their health, their body, their mindset, their overall life. And because you are doing it, they need to try to bring you down back to their level, which they're at. Now, at the end of the day, we always do have a choice. So our choice is to say, I am not going to allow this person to bring their hurt towards me. So sometimes hurt people are also trying to hurt us because we are opening ourselves up to it. Not because we're putting ourselves out there. That's not it at all. But because right now our energy, our world, our vulnerability is a little bit out there. And part of why I say this is because eventually you're going to get to a spot, I do hope this and I do believe this, where people might be making these comments, but you don't even see them as hurtful. That's the amazing thing. That's where I want to get you to. Because then you say, oh, why is this person saying this? What do they mean by it? Why would they bring that to me? Because here's why. If you are not in a state of judgment, if you are not in a state of judging others, inflicting hurt on others, wishing ill on others, you'll get to a point where you almost don't even see it, where you just see it as like, this is a crazy comment. Because if you do not hold those things in your mind, if you're not consistently thinking those things on a daily basis yourself, there's no point, there's no place for you to even see it. If you do not cast judgment, you really don't ever feel judged. If you do not wish ill upon others, you're going to get to a spot where you're not believing they're wishing ill on you. That's a topic for another podcast. We'll get much more in depth on that one. But I'm telling you right now, what you embody, what you believe is what you see in this world. We can all get better at it, myself included. That's why we do these Mindset and Motivation Monday podcasts. Hopefully today's show has been helpful. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. Each and every Monday, we'll be back on these shows. And you know that the Cabral concept is a daily show. It's about daily self-improvement. It is not about ever reaching any pinnacle or any spot. It is just getting better on a daily basis. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Have a great start to the week.